I only wanted toothpaste, but instead, I walked in on my alien roommate massaging her glowing tentacles, whispering my name and moaning. For science. I only wanted toothpaste, but instead, I walked in on my alien roommate massaging her glowing tentacles, whispering my name and moaning. For science. It was 3 a.m., I was half asleep, pants clinging to one ankle, and the fluorescent dorm lights were giving me a migraine. I had just stumbled out of a dorm party that ended with someone crying into a nacho fountain and another dude marrying a vending machine. I wasn't in the right headspace to decipher alien customs. The door I opened looked like mine. Same number. Same flickering panel. I didn't even notice the faint violet mist wafting from inside or the strange scent of melted jelly beans and ozone. I was too focused on the fact my mouth tasted like regret, and I couldn't remember brushing my teeth since Monday. That's when I saw her, Zelia, my new alien roommate. Bent forward, glistening, her lavender skin barely concealed beneath a gauzy ceremonial wrap that left nothing to the imagination, assuming you had the imagination to process 4 gently undulating tentacles and bioluminescent freckles glowing across what might have been her thighs. She looked at me, eyes widening, tendrils curling inwards like embarrassed snakes. You came early, she said, her voice lilting and breathy, translator lagging just enough to make it sound like she was reading erotica through a fan. I blinked. I needed toothpaste. She tilted her head. Is that your Earth euphemism for readiness? She stood upright, and I swear one of her tentacles flicked my chin. Most humans use flowers. You bring oral hygiene. My brain still hadn't caught up. I think I came to the wrong door. Her translator hiccuped. You came in the wrong door. I coughed. I walked into the wrong room. She stepped closer, her skin shifting to a faint pinkish glow. So, you meant to enter another's chamber for intimate cleansing? She reached for a glowing tube beside her, mistaking it for what I assumed was their version of lotion. Or are you here to initiate? Initiate what? I asked. Her smile widened. Mating display 3.42.1.1, where the male presents himself, shirtless, bearing a request involving his mouth. I was about to explain that this was a wildly unfortunate chain of events, and that I'd only removed my shirt because someone spilled guacamole on it during beer pong, but before I could get a word in, her translator chirped again. I prepared for this. I read 4 human novels. 2 involved forbidden milking rituals. Oh God. And 1 featured a step-sibling scenario. Are you my Earth sibling by chance? I groaned, backing toward the door. No. Definitely not. We're just roommates. Roommates with benefits, yes. She took a step forward, her tentacles now moving in a rhythmic sway I assumed meant arousal, or perhaps seizure. No benefits. Not even shared shampoo. She leaned in, whispering in a sultry tone. You've seen my oils. I stepped on my own foot trying to escape, tripped over what I think was a vibrating meditation egg, and landed face first into a shimmering pool of lavender goo. It tasted like bubblegum and regret. She gasped, genuinely impressed. So you are initiating. I wiped the slime off my lips. What is this stuff? My hormonal pheromone enhancer. You've activated it with your tongue. Bold. I stared at her, wide-eyed. I licked your lube. Technically it's communal. But if you want a private batch... No. No private batches. She helped me up, fingers, tentacles, gently gripping my forearm. Her touch was oddly warm, almost comforting, if not entirely inappropriate. This is your first time, yes? She asked softly. First time walking into the wrong room covered in alien love jelly? Yeah. Her eyes sparkled. Then allow me to lead. I'll go slow. Unless you're into being overwhelmed. I backed up again, bumping into what I thought was a coat rack, until it giggled and retracted into the wall. I gave up trying to understand this place. Look, Zelia, this is all just a misunderstanding. She nodded sagely. Ah, the pre-consent dance. I read of this. Feigned confusion, accidental arousal, ritual denial. I'm not denying anything. I'm rejecting all of this. So you do prefer the assertive type? No. I just want to leave and pretend this never happened. She smiled wider. Never happened? My translator tells me Earthlings say that when they very much want it to happen again. I'm getting the toothpaste and leaving. From where? Your bathroom. That is another euphemism? God, no. She looked genuinely disappointed, her tentacles drooping like sad spaghetti. Very well. But know this, Earthling. You have activated the first part of the courtship. The rest is inevitable. I squinted. Courtship? You entered during my bonding preparation. You have seen the oils. Tasted them. There's no unseeing. I'm unseeing everything the second I hit the shower. She folded her arms, or at least crossed two tentacles over her chest in what was probably an alien version of a pout. Rude. I paused. You know what's rude? Spraying sex juice on the floor without a warning sign. It was clearly labeled in Glorvac. Well, I don't read Glorvac. I barely read English when I'm hungover. She considered that. Then I shall translate all hazard signs moving forward. And perhaps we could try again tomorrow, accidentally, of course. Nope. Bring floss. I slammed the door behind me, stumbled back into my own room, and stared at the mirror. I had goo in my hair. And for some reason, I wasn't entirely opposed to tomorrow. The next morning, I woke up to the smell of cinnamon, ozone, and something suspiciously like cherry lubricant. My phone buzzed with a message from Zelia. Display continues. Dress loose. Bring fluids. I blinked. She even sent a winking emoji, or whatever her version of it was, probably an eye stalk doing a seductive twitch. I ignored it, brushed my teeth aggressively, and told myself last night was a one-off hallucination caused by expired tequila. Then came the knock. Not on my door, but from inside the wall. A smooth sliding sound, then a cup of steaming liquid floated through a small opening, followed by a note. My blend. Enhances pheromonal openness. Good for bonding. I was both curious and terrified. It smelled like licorice and battery acid. I took a sip. My tongue tingled. My pants tightened. I spat it out. The door whooshed open on its own. There she stood, Zelia, wearing what looked like a sheer curtain dipped in starlight, body gleaming with subtle bioluminescence. Her tentacles were tied in intricate knots that I could only describe as cosmic lingerie. She gestured gracefully, as if beckoning me into a sacrificial chamber. I hesitated, then stepped in. She tilted her head. I see you've consumed my essence. How do you feel? Violated. Also mildly aroused. Excellent. Then the display is progressing. I sat stiffly, on a pulsating cushion that adjusted itself to cup my buttocks in ways no chair ever should. She began what I assumed was her version of romantic small talk, listing the number of Earth books she'd read involving forbidden liaisons and unexpected entries. I tried to clarify my accidental entry was entirely unsexual. She laughed, waving a tentacle. Interspecies denial. Classic. She offered me a tray of alien fruit, round, pulsing, slightly sweaty. Try this one. It enhances blood flow to reproductive organs. I blinked. Did you just say that out loud? She nodded. Your customs confuse me. On my planet, we announce everything. Honesty is lubrication. That's not how we do it. How do you do it? Usually badly. Sometimes in the back of a car. She gasped, delighted. Vehicle mating. We must attempt this. I tried to change the subject. So what exactly is this display you're doing? She stood proudly. A seduction ceremony. You entered at the correct pheromone cycle, during hormone misting. You showed skin. You fell into oils. Your reproductive interest is confirmed. I was looking for crest and slipped. Same outcome. She began a dance. Rhythmic, sensual, involving the slow unfurling of her limbs while moaning in what I guessed was Glorvak poetry. The translator caught snippets. Your heat invades my void. I shall nest in your scent. Fill me like the twin sons of Jorvak. I coughed. Is this normal? It's foreplay. It's interpretive porn. Thank you. The music changed, now a mixture of chimes, thumping bass, and moaning wails. The lighting dimmed. She pressed a button, and the ceiling released a light mist. Humidity equals arousal. You will enjoy. I was sweating. Not from the mist. From panic, curiosity, and the realization that my boxers were betraying me. She circled me, tentacles brushing my arms, chest, once accidentally my crotch. She paused. Oh. You are biologically engaged. I'm biologically confused. This is good. Confusion leads to surrender. She offered a second fruit. I refused. She fed it to me anyway, sliding it between my lips. It burst like a warm peach filled with champagne and lust. My pupils dilated. My filter vanished. So do you always get this forward with your roommates? I asked. Only the desirable ones. I blinked. You think I'm desirable? You have symmetry, warmth, and carry yourself like a fertile mammal. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. She leaned in, pressing her forehead to mine. Then let us perform Ritual 4.2. What's that? Foot touching. Very erotic. I'm not into feet. Oh. Then, nostril brushing? Absolutely not. Her tentacles drooped. What about kissing? I can do kissing. She leaned forward, lips soft, shimmering. I hesitated, then pulled back. Wait. Isn't this moving fast? Her eyes narrowed. You tasted my lube last night. You're practically married. I held up my hands. That was an accident. Then consider this a honeymoon. She straddled me. Light, delicate, somehow weightless. Her skin was warm, slightly sticky, like soft marshmallow. She brushed a tentacle along my cheek. You Earth males are strange. So bashful, yet so easily stimulated. You aliens wear edible dresses. You like? It's growing on me. So is my scent. She pressed her chest against mine. Heartbeats synced. Her translator buzzed. Initiation complete. Proceed to optional penetration. I jumped. That's the translator, not you, right? Mostly. She paused, looked into my eyes, and suddenly softened. Is this your first time with an alien? Yes. Then I shall go slow. And scream only 3 times. That's considerate. She reached down, pressed a button, and the bed inflated around us. A low hum started beneath our bodies. She grinned. Do you feel that? Yes. What is it? Preparation tremors. My planet's equivalent of foreplay music. It vibrates in tune with your organs. I don't know whether to be scared or turned on. Both. That is the Glorvak way. I swallowed hard, looked into her shimmering eyes, and whispered, Please don't eat me. She laughed. Only metaphorically. And in that moment, as her tentacles wrapped gently around my shoulders and her lips brushed mine again, I realized something terrible. I'd forgotten the toothpaste. I slammed the door behind me and collapsed on the floor, panting like I'd just run a marathon in latex. My heart was racing, my lips were tingling, and there was definitely alien glitter in my underwear. I hadn't technically done anything illegal, or so I hoped, but I had absolutely crossed some weird, intergalactic line of decency. I needed advice fast. So, naturally, I called my best friend, Kyle. You licked her what? It wasn't intentional, man. I slipped. There was goo. He wheezed with laughter. Was it the hot blue one with the tentacles? She's lavender. It matters. So she's hot and color coordinated. Dude, I think I started an alien mating ritual. Kyle paused. Bro. That's either really hot or really dangerous. Maybe both. There was a translator that said optional penetration. He whistled. Damn. They don't even give you dinner first? Her dinner was a vibrating fruit bowl and a fog machine. I think I'm engaged. Kyle was no help, obviously. I hung up, Googled accidental alien courtship laws, and got a mix of fanfiction and a government warning that read, if you've activated more than 3 pheromone triggers, legal bonding may be in effect. I counted 5. Possibly 6 if the vibrating cushion counted. My door buzzed. Not knocked, buzzed. Like a mosquito with bad intentions. I opened it slowly. Zelia stood there holding a scroll, wearing an official-looking sash that read, Bonding Facilitator. She looked solemn. I've reviewed our interaction. Based on Glorvac law and Earth-human expression patterns, I have concluded we are not fully bonded. I exhaled in relief. However, she continued, we are partially mated. That sounds worse. It means we must complete a non-penetrative intimacy trial to break the cycle. I'm not licking anything else. It can also be verbal. Oh, thank God. We will begin now. She walked in uninvited, spread the scroll on my desk, and began a series of deeply personal questions. Do you cry after climax? Have you imagined mating with a celebrity? Do you perform solo affection more than once per Earth rotation? I'm not answering these. You already have. Your skin emitted micro-responses. You scanned me? It's legal. You initiated. I rubbed my temples. I initiated nothing. This all started because I was out of toothpaste. She leaned in, voice low. Yet here we are. You and me, entangled in a spiral of unfulfilled climax and bureaucratic loopholes. That sentence needs to be arrested. I have a suggestion, she whispered. We resolve the bond properly. A one-time, full-thrust, culturally significant act of intimacy. You mean? Yes. Mutual grooming. I thought you meant sex. We call it that. But it involves sharing snacks and braiding hair. I don't even have hair. She eyed my chest. Then we improvise. There was a pause. A long, slow, weighted silence. Then she asked softly, Do you want this? Not because of law or biology. Just because? I didn't answer right away. Partly because I was confused. Partly because deep down, I did want it. Not just the alien weirdness, but her. She was bizarre, brilliant, strangely sweet. Her version of romance was backwards and slippery, but it had honesty. And her smile, when it wasn't filtered through a misfiring translator, was kind of radiant. I don't know, I admitted. You're a lot. She grinned. You're not exactly low maintenance either. You called me sentient calamari last night. In my defense, you sprayed me with sex juice and called it aromatic suggestion. It worked. I chuckled. It did. She moved closer, not seductive this time, just present. Real. Let's try being normal. No oils. No rituals. Just something simple. I nodded. Dinner? She beamed. Earth noodles with red sauce. I've studied pasta culture. I'll bring wine. Is that a euphemism? No. But it could be. She touched my hand. Not with a tentacle. A hand? Smooth, soft, surprisingly human. I still have a lot to learn about humans, she said. And I've clearly got a lot to learn about aliens. Then let's be ignorant together. We smiled. There was no goo. No moaning music. Just two people standing in the awkward haze of interspecies flirtation. It felt weirdly nice. And then she ruined it. Do we spoon now or later? I blinked. Zelia, please. One dinner. No spoons. Understood. Forking only. That's not better. She winked. Not yet. I groaned. But I didn't tell her to leave. Dinner was surprisingly normal. She ordered spaghetti from the campus kitchen. Apparently she hacked the system to approve herself as a food science major, and I brought a bottle of wine that cost me half my weekly food budget. She analyzed the label like it held ancient secrets, then poured it into 2 crystalline goblets that materialized from her portable dining drone. I tried not to ask questions. We ate. She slurped the noodles noisily, then attempted to seduce me mid-bite by locking eyes and licking tomato sauce off her chin in slow motion. I nearly choked. She took it as encouragement and asked if humans liked mouth-on-mouth nutrient exchange. I said yes, but not with spaghetti in the middle. She noted that down in her little translator pad and titled the entry, "Spit sharing, romantic contexts only." When we finished, she stood and cleared the table with a gesture. The drone hovered away humming a tune that sounded suspiciously like Marvin Gaye. She moved closer. "Now we initiate post-digestive intimacy phase," she whispered. "Can we just call it cuddling?" I asked. She raised a brow. "Cuddling sounds less efficient." "Exactly." She sighed, draped one arm, and a tentacle, over me, and we sat together, surprisingly comfortable. Her body was warm, her glow softer now. It pulsed like a heartbeat. She looked up at me with those impossible eyes and said, "Do you feel bonded yet?" "I feel connected. Less slippery. Still slightly terrified." "Progress." She nodded. We didn't speak for a moment. Just sat there, leaning into something neither of us could quite name. Then she broke the silence. "Your pheromones are stable. No erratic surges. Perhaps you're finally adjusting to me. Or maybe I'm just not scared of being turned into alien soup anymore." "That too." She looked thoughtful, then asked, "If we were to become exclusive, would you still seek oral hygiene assistance from other females?" That sentence needs a translator patch. I mean, would you remain bonded? Monogamous? Are we seriously having the relationship talk now? Statistically, this is the phase where most human pairings either escalate or flee. I considered that. She wasn't wrong. And somehow, despite everything, tentacle dances, lube puddles, foot rituals, I didn't want to flee. I wanted more weird. Her weird. "I don't know about monogamy," I said honestly, "but I'm not interested in sharing whatever this is with anyone else." She looked pleased. "Then we shall begin bonding display number 69. I coughed. "You numbered that on purpose, didn't you? Humor is an aphrodisiac in your culture." "Correct." And now I'm both amused and alarmed. She pulled out a small vial of shimmering dust and sprinkled it over her skin. "Sensory enhancement. Don't worry. It's FDA approved in 4 galaxies." I leaned in. "What does it do?" She kissed me. No preamble. No translator buffer. Just lips on lips, warm and surprisingly tender. The dust sparked on contact. My brain felt like it was being massaged by a jazz band. Her hands traced my arms. One tentacle wrapped around my waist. Another cupped the back of my neck. I responded instinctively, hand in her hair, pulling her closer, losing myself in the taste of cinnamon, static, and something deeply primal. She broke the kiss, eyes glowing. "You kiss like a Glorvac prince." "I don't know what that means, but I'm flattered." "It means I want to scream your name while destroying furniture." I smirked. "Let's start with the couch." Clothes came off, not in a frenzy, but in the mutual, eager unraveling of barriers. Her skin felt like heated silk. Mine probably felt like sweaty earth guy, but she didn't seem to mind. Her breath came out in rapid pulses, her translator fumbling to keep up. "Yes, more, entangle me, fill my orbit," I whispered. "You say the weirdest things when you're turned on. I've been studying human dirty talk. Do you like choke me with your earth rod? Let's work on phrasing." She grinned and tackled me. Later, tangled in sheets that smelled like stardust and questionable decisions, we lay in silence. She rested her head on my chest. Her body shimmered with the afterglow of what could only be described as legally binding galactic sex. "You've exceeded my expectations," she murmured. "You've obliterated mine. I still don't understand all your anatomy. Trust me, neither do most doctors." She kissed my collarbone. "Shall we continue tomorrow? I'm gonna need a hydration 4 and a chiropractor first. I'll prep the oils." Please don't. I'll label them this time. Deal. She looked up, smile lazy. So, am I still your accidental roommate? I thought about it, kissed her forehead, and whispered, You're the best accident I've ever had. She sighed happily. You say the sweetest things. Tomorrow, we can do the anal probe ritual. Absolutely not. Consent withdrawn? Consent obliterated. She giggled. Then we spoon. I groaned. Fine. But if I wake up glued to you again, I'm calling housing. I hope you do. I want a second date. And that's how I accidentally fell in love, with a half-naked alien covered in mist, misunderstood everything she said, and still managed to get lucky. All because I ran out of toothpaste.